Hello, my fellow Toastmasters. I would like you all to picture a teenager. A teenager in particular that was unfit, unmotivated, and unsocialized. Perhaps you've seen this teenager in your life. Perhaps you've seen them in a TV show or a movie. Perhaps this teenager was you when you were growing up. My fellow Toastmasters, I have a confession to make. That teenager was me. Shocking, I know. So, in my teenage years, you often could find me in my natural habitat, slumped over the computer, eyes glued to the computer screen. So it's a wonder, how did that creature end up being me? Well, my fellow Toastmasters, in the next few minutes, I will share with you my journey from this antisocial, anxiety-driven teenager to a less antisocial adult doing their PhD. But first, let me give you some context. I was born in the Philippines around the mid-90s, and my mom and I emigrated to the US in the early 2000s. Now, what this means is my most formative years happened to coincide with the rise of video games and social media. Now, it's not to say that these two things are bad, but for someone that wasn't disciplined and that was developing, they might as well have handed me drugs because that's how addicting those things were to me. And to an extent, I'm still addicted to my computer screen. Now, pair that up with having to go to online school. You know, we've all experienced this by now and within the last year. But I've been going to online school ever since grade school. And so you would just often find me in front of my computer screen day in and day out watching YouTube videos, playing video games. And my mom would not have that, after a certain time. So when I had to go to college, I had to switch up my ways. And that was a day that I dreaded. There was months of buildup to that first day of a physical community college. And I was shaking and sweating, and I was downright nervous to go through that. But throughout the weeks, I found myself becoming more confident. I started making friends. I was doing decently in my classes. And by the end of the semester, I was really confident because I surprisingly did well in my math and English classes. So with that, I developed a mindset of, hey, if I can do this course, what prevents me from learning other things, right? So I was like, hey, chemistry, that sounds scary. Let me try that. Physics, ooh, that looks really scary. Let me try that. Advanced math, okay, that sounds like a challenge. And ultimately, that's what led me to UIC and getting a mechanical engineering degree, and now a PhD in mechanical engineering. Most strikingly is that it led me to this club, Toastmasters. A year ago, I was still antisocial, had antisocial tendencies. And so for me, I was very hesitant to join my first Toastmasters meeting. When I saw Dr. Brzezinski's email, I had to hesitantly click the link, or else I might have changed my mind. But thankfully, in that first meeting, I was welcomed with open arms by Dr. Brzezinski and Sai and everyone else who was there that day. And I was honestly quite seduced by the speeches that were given. And I saw that throughout the meeting, there were so many learning moments that I knew from then on that Toastmasters was going to allow me to grow and develop. And my fellow Toastmasters, that has been my journey. Within the past 10 years, I went from this unproductive member of society to a semi functional adult. Thank you.